So good afternoon, everybody. My name is Welch. I will be presenting math and chemistry, and I will begin with the math. So in your class, I always do my homework. However, sometimes I don't understand it, but when I don't understand it, I always attend your office hours or ask a friend. Here's my homework completion chart, and as you can see, I have mostly 4s. However, my test corrections, I sometimes complete them, but when I don't, I most likely will turn them in late. Usually, I will attend your office hours for help if I don't understand, and I get help from you and sometimes friends. I figure out my mistakes by looking back at notes, or you will help me. Here's my score chart. As you can see, it's way lower than my homework completion chart. I try and improve my grade by attending office hours. Whenever I score low on a test, I always come back and retake. I study even harder for the retake, and I always do my homework. One of my lowest essential skills is 2.4 congruent triangles. Here's pictures of the quiz. As you can see, I did really good on the quiz. So I thought if I did really good on the quiz, then I wouldn't have to study that hard for the test, because the quiz I got like an A or a B+. And here's my test problem. 2 of my test problems. On this problem, I did the math right, however, I forgot to simplify it. I didn't know we had to simplify it. And so in the corrections, I did simplify it. And right here, it's the same thing. I didn't know how to simplify it, and I was supposed to divide by square root of 3, and I didn't do that. And the same thing, but right here, I multiplied 3 times 3 instead of circling it and taking it out. So x would have been 3. I have an A in your class, and I'm very thankful for it. I feel like I do deserve it because I do work really hard in your class. In the beginning of the year, it wasn't honors, but it was a huge weight on me, so I had to drop out of that. Do you have any questions?
We'll take questions after you present for me.
Okay. Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, now I will present chemistry. I will be presenting units on gases. Okay, so in 1A, we learned about random molecular motion. It's basically when molecules don't have a pattern, they float at random. And diffusion of gases is basically when molecules spread out. So say, for example, if I fart, my fart molecules would want to spread out, but because there's so many air molecules, it might deflate most likely. And, okay, 1B, we learned about combined gas laws. The combined gas laws are basically a combination between the Gay-Lussac's law, the Charles law, and the Bowlby's law. It's a combination of those 3. And the ideal gas law is basically a combination of the Bowlby's law and the Charles law. However, it includes moles and constants. The relationship between pressure volume with the laws it includes them. When you want to find pressure and volume, that's how you find pressure and volume with the laws, and the etc. Standard temperature and pressure. Standard pressure is basically 1 atm. It's 760 mmHgs in torr. And standard pressure and temperature is basically 0 Celsius and 273 Kelvin. How do we convert Celsius to Kelvin? Well, if you want to go from Celsius to Kelvin, then you would add 273. If we wanted to go from Kelvin to Celsius, we would subtract 273. And the last thing we learned was how to use the ideal Log-Pivner. Well, basically, you just plug it in, you just plug everything in. You plug in pressure, volume, moles, constants, and temperature, and you just solve for it. Thank you for you guys' undivided attention. Do you guys have any questions?
Video?
Oh, yeah.
This